What happens when bodybuilders drop the weights to test themselves in the most extreme sport in the world? Big muscles obviously don't guarantee good performance in a fight, but in many cases, old-fashioned brute strength can solve the problem. Today, we're going to revisit some of the most insane fights involving bodybuilders in MMA history. Alain Ngalani, a bodyguard for Chinese tycoons who, in a spare time, takes some heads off in the octagon. The Cameroonian Alain Ngalani, besides a physique worthy of a bodybuilder, also boasts speed and flexibility, a deadly combination. After a successful journey in kickboxing events in China, just before turning 40, he accepts an invitation from ONE FC for a final challenge to fight MMA. In his debut, the opponent awaiting him was equally terrifying. Mahmoud Hassan came from 2 victories, but he wasn't prepared for what was to come.
If there is this one, on the stage.
Already in his 3rd fight, Naglani faced the Ukrainian Igor Subra, who was betting on grappling to win, but first he would have to withstand a merciless sequence of kicks.
All the way back to Hong Kong. That was a nice body shot right there. That makes it so huge that he's getting really hard. Body again. To the body. Oh, quick punches to the mouth.
And when he finally got to the ground, it wasn't in the way he expected. Robert Burneika. In 2017, the Polish KSW event put together a very curious fight. On one side, a bodybuilder who was venturing into MMA called Robert Burneika, and even with his little experience, he came from 2 consecutive victories. On the other, Popek Monster, a former fighter who had been away from the cage for almost 10 years, but even in retirement, showed that he still had dynamite in his hands.
Zatem, czy Popek będzie przedzierał się przez szlaban postawiony przez lewą rękę Burneiki? Czy trafi? Trafił!
Ale tutaj nie może być mowy o takiej sytuacji przy nocy Burneiki. Wszystko.
A Popek rozpędził i odklepuje Burneika ciosy. To monster!
Later, in 2021, Bernika would face David Ozoba, a debuting fighter with practically half his weight. Betting on his reflexes and greater speed, David believed he could tire out the bodybuilder, but he didn't escape receiving some violent punches. After 2 rounds and a lot of running around the cage, the referee decided to disqualify him for lack of combativeness. Marius Pudzianowski. What happens when the world's strongest man decides to abandon the weights to trade blows inside an octagon? The Pole Mariusz Pudzianowski, 5-time world champion in the strongman category, was considered for years one of the strongest men on the planet. But he was still not satisfied, and in 2009, he decided it was time to test his skills in the most extreme sport in the world. Starting to fight close to his 40s, no one exactly knew how his performance would be. But in his official debut in December 2009, the monster rushed forward uncontrollably, delivering shins to March Nyman, who couldn't handle the pressure and in 43 seconds had to be saved by the referee. Another memorable fight happened in 2022 against the intimidating Senegalese Ousmane Dia, who also was a famous strongman competitor with multiple titles on his resume, and until then, undefeated in MMA. Being bigger and even heavier than the Pole, Ousmane ended up underestimating Marius' striking, suffering a lightning knockout in 19 seconds.
Marius Pudzianowski, it's an absolute knockdown!
Gabi Garcia, 6 feet 3 inches tall and 242 pounds of pure muscle mass. We're not talking about a UFC heavyweight, but one of the most feared women in combat sports. Gabrielle Garcia, besides her frightening physical build, holds 10 world titles in her specialty, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Undefeated in MMA, she is also known for defeating men in gym training. In December 2015, Garcia would make her professional MMA debut at the Japanese Rizin event, and her opponent, the German wrestler Lady Tap, was also stepping into the ring for the first time. The fight started at a fast pace, with both fighters exchanging blows without any control, which was to be expected from two debutantes. In this Russian roulette, Top managed to land a clean punch, knocking Garcia down in the very first seconds. Fearing to advance on the Brazilian on the ground, immediately after in another open exchange, Top lost her balance and Garciana ended up on top, her favorite position. A brutal ground and pound secured her first career victory.